Right, have you been annoyed by a nuisance call? You're in the middle of doing something in your kitchen, the phone rings, you answer it only to discover it's a cold caller trying to either sell you something or get information. Something the government says they want to crack down on, and they've announced that they want to make bosses of companies that make those nuisance calls personally liable for breaking the law. So under the plans, directors, in principle, could be fined up to £500,000. At the moment, only companies are liable, and bosses try to avoid paying fines by declaring bankruptcy sometimes, or reopening under a different name. So let's talk to our guest, whose name is
David Hickson.
Hello, David.
From
Hi.
the Fair Telecoms campaign.
Yes, Fair Telecoms came up, and I interviewed you 10 years ago about this. 10 years ago.
About similar issues.
Working on the radio back then, but the point being, of course, that nuisance calls have been a problem for so long.
The regime that covers them is still the same now as it was back then. Had it been more effective then, we might not be in the position we're in now.
So what do you
trying to do last-minute little tweaks to make it effective, we need something very radical now to be done to stop this altogether.
So are you saying this plan to make bosses liable with fines of up to £500,000 is a tweak?
It's a tweak, yes. It may help in the few cases that the Information Commissioner is able to pursue each year. They do about a dozen cases a year. Some of the directors slip away, but we're talking in the context where 3.9 billion nuisance calls and texts are made. For all their great efforts, and I'm happy to applaud the work they do, the Information Commissioner's Office can't get anywhere near addressing all of those. Far more radical steps are needed. The telephone companies need to get involved. The direct regulators, people like the Financial Conduct Authority.
What would be the most radical thing that would sort this like that?
What we've got to do is stop thinking about the nuisance call as being a data protection issue and think of it as a business process. These people are involved in a business process which now the British public has had enough of.
Right.
Unsolicited direct marketing by telephone, no more.
So does that mean legislation to make it illegal, or what do you mean?
In many cases, there are regulators already in place that have that ability. While we remain in the EU, there are regulations which we have to keep to, but who knows? One benefit of leaving the EU could mean we could pass general legislation to stop businesses exploiting the business-friendly European environment.
But if you were a boss who potentially could be fined £500,000 if your company does this kind of stuff, then you might think twice about letting your staff continue with that business model.
I might have a chat with my lawyer and see if there was any serious risk, and I might look at the odds of being caught, which aren't that great.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you. David Hickson, the Fair Telecoms campaign representative. BBC Newsroom Live is next. Thanks for your company today. Have a good day. Back tomorrow at 9.